Good morning. Welcome back to class. Make sure you're sitting up tall in your seat. Your feet are on the floor, your hands are in your lap. Take a nice deep breath and let's get ready to get started. This week I asked you to draw at least 4 buildings that you could see 2 sides of and the top. And I asked you to add windows and doors. And you worked on that without any instruction on day 1. Then on day 2 and 3, we practiced drawing 3D shapes using 2-point perspective. And 2-point perspective only uses vertical lines and orthogonal lines, or just diagonal lines that go to a vanishing point. So today we're going to get our focus back to drawing at least 4 buildings that you can see the top of and 2 sides with windows and doors. And then tomorrow you're going to be working independently to draw your own 4 buildings that you can see the top of and at least 2 sides with windows and doors. So let's get our workspace in front of us. You need a pencil, a ruler, and a piece of paper. So let's get started. Now, yesterday I got the comments that I was going too fast and my hands were in the way. So today we're going to start with that in mind. I'm going to try and keep my hands out of the way, and I'm going to try and go slower. And I'm going to draw a horizon line, just a horizontal line. I'm about 1/3 of the way up from my bottom of my paper, and actually I need to turn it this way. So I've got a horizon line 1/3 of the way up. I'm going to put 2 vanishing points. And from those vanishing points, I'm actually going to draw a diagonal line or orthogonal line down towards the bottom of the paper. And I'm drawing lightly so I can erase. And then from where that line ends, I'm going to draw another orthogonal line. And this is going to represent the street corner. This is one street, this is another street, and we're not going to see that much of the street corner. I'm going to draw another orthogonal line inside, so just above the last one. From each vanishing point. So that's the sidewalk corner in front of our buildings. I'm going to start the buildings a little ways away from the sidewalk. I'm not going to build them right on the sidewalk, so let's give a little bit more space. Now I've got 3 lines. This one I am drawing a lot lighter. So this is just going to be empty space. I'm just putting that in there for my own marks, for my own reference. So from this point, I'm going to draw a line straight up. A vertical line. And then from the top of that, I'm going to draw a line to the vanishing point and a line to this vanishing point. Okay, so we're going to get started by drawing a horizontal line. And this horizontal line is going to be about in the center of the page, and it's going to be where the earth meets the sky. We've got to add our vanishing points. Okay, so let's get started by drawing the horizon line. I'm going to draw it way high up on the paper. And then I'm going to draw my vanishing points. At either end of the horizon line. Then I'm going to put in a vertical line that goes quite a ways down. It doesn't matter how low you do it, but it does have to be quite a bit above. Actually, I'm going to draw my horizon line way up here. I'm going to put my vanishing points at either end of the horizon line. And for this drawing, I'm going to draw a vertical line that does not go to the horizon line. It can't go up to the vanishing points because we want to see the top of this building. So now from the bottom of that line, I'm going to draw to the vanishing point. To the top of that line, I'm going to draw to the vanishing point. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. From the top, draw to the vanishing point. And from the bottom, draw to the vanishing point. This is representing the corner of the building. And this point back here represents so far in the distance that things disappear. So we don't need to go that far back to draw a building. We're going to draw another vertical line here. I'm going to make it kind of narrow because we need to fit 4 buildings in here. So there's the end of the building on this side, and let's draw the end of the building on this side. So now it just looks like I'm drawing a fence. It doesn't have any depth to it. It's just a flat plane going this way and a flat plane going this way. So to give it the third dimension, I'm going to again draw from the vertical line to the vanishing point. And I'm not going to draw my line all the way over there because I know my building ends right here. So this line's not going to go to infinity over there. I only need to line my ruler up with the vanishing point in order to get the mark where I need it. And then that one I can see exactly where to stop it. See, this one I drew way too long. So now my second building I'm going to draw. I'm going to have some space in between. And this one is going to be much shorter. So this one's going to go here. Now, again, I have to draw from the top of the vanishing point to from the top of the vertical line to the vanishing point, but I don't want to draw my line through this building, so I'm just going to draw it that far and stop. Then I'm going to draw from the top of the vertical line to this vanishing point, and I'm going to go that far and stop. Now I can draw a vertical line to end the building, and again I don't have the third dimension. I have the width, I have the depth, but I don't have any space in here. So I'm going to have to draw from this corner first, and I'm going to draw that far back. So now I'm going to have to make a point back here on the building on that same line that represents how deep this building is. So now I know this building is going to line up with that dot I just made. And then I can erase that little dot and that extra little piece there. So I've got two buildings. I'm going to keep going because I need 4. There's 3. This one's going to be a little taller. And I'm going to draw from the top of the vertical line this way to the vanishing point, but I'm going to stop, and at those points is where I'm going to draw straight down. Actually, I'm going to come in a little bit because I don't want it to line up with that corner. And I'm going to draw straight down on this one. So now it's time to put the top on this building, and we just cross all the way over to the furthest vertical line on that structure, and then we cross over from this far vertical line on the building to the opposite vanishing point. And now I have 3 buildings on this street. I'm going to make the 4th one a little bit taller. And again, follow these directions from the top of that vertical line to the vanishing point, from the top of this vertical line to this vanishing point, I'm going to draw a straight vertical line down. It's the same recipe for all of these. And a straight vertical line down. I can take this out because this doesn't need to be in there. And this one you're barely going to see the top of, but you will see the top of it, but only barely. I'm going to draw this way, and we're going to draw this corner to this vanishing point. So you're barely seeing the top of it, but there it is. So to put the windows and the doors in, we just follow the vanishing point, line up your ruler and draw a line across the building. Then you scoot it up a little bit, keep it lined up with the vanishing point, draw another line across the building. Keep moving your ruler up. And for this exercise, it's okay if you don't have even levels between the buildings or even space between the levels of the building. Just try and gauge it the best you can. You don't have to measure this for this assignment. And then for the other side of the building, we're going from the vanishing point to where that other level left off. Then we're going to move from the vanishing point, make sure it's lined up, and draw our line. And you just keep doing this. So we have 4 buildings on one street. We're putting the different layers of, or the different floors in. So this is going to help us draw our windows. And we can just draw vertical lines this way. I'm going to draw them almost all the way up, but not all the way. So the top floor looks like it is maybe the sign for the building. And then to make the doors, I'm actually going to just put like some door handles like that. So that can be the door. And we'll do the same thing on all of these buildings, put different levels on them. This one might have only 2 levels. And go this way. So you can actually divide this up and then put different shapes inside there if you want. Actually, I can put that all the way down to the ground. So, I mean, if you wanted to divide this up even more and make some designs in here, you can. Keep that lined up with the vanishing point or vertical. That's all you got to do is aim your ruler at the vanishing point or draw straight up. So you can make some different designs for the windows if you want to. This one maybe I'll make some oval shaped windows. And we can do that by drawing some rectangles in here instead of squares. This building's further away. So you can draw different shapes inside there. You can just make them arches if you want to. You could make the windows go from the floor to the top floor, or from the ground to the top floor. You can make your window designs whatever way you want to. I just want to be able to see that you have drawn lines from the vanishing point to across the building so that you're having some kind of reference to the vanishing point for your windows. I'll draw double lines for this one. So then to further sell this, that this is the ground down here, we can draw some space. So we've got 1, 2 lines coming from the vanishing point here, and 2 lines coming from the vanishing point there, and then we're going to divide this sidewalk up. So this is just going to be empty space, and then we're going to draw these stripes here. To make it look like the sidewalk is laying down. And the closer I get to the bottom of the paper, the wider the spaces are going to be, because that's going to make it seem like it's closer to the viewer. Oops, a bit too much. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll skip a space and draw our lines up here. And this doesn't seem like it makes sense in your brain to draw lines on the sidewalk at an angle, but it makes sense when you look at it. Your brain processes it as we're going back in space here. And it all makes sense because the vanishing points tie it all together. So let me get these few more lines on here. Make sure I'm lining it up with my vanishing point, and the spaces get smaller and smaller as we go along. So there you have your tops, 2 sides, windows and doors, and I don't have things around it, but well, I do have a sidewalk, so that should count for has an environment. So there you have it, drawing 2-point perspective buildings.